Hello, welcome to This is the Day Show. I am your host, RJ Cole.
And I'm Fred Graham.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Our show is now on video. We're on Rumble and on YouTube. Our podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. If you like our show, we would ask that you subscribe, follow, and also write us a wonderful 5-star review. Thank you to everyone that continues to promote our show. We have a few ways for you to interact with us. You can email our show at thisisthedayshow@gmail.com. We can also be found on X at This Is The Day Show without the W, and on Facebook by searching for This Is The Day Show. There's also an option to text our show. Select the episode that you're about to listen to. Look on the top left of the episode and it'll say send us a text. Feel free to send us any questions, feedback, or interest that you may have for us. And on to the show.
Side note, you notice my sweet swag. This is the official This is the Day Show podcast shirt. So if you would like one, you can get yours. Email at This Is The Day Show and say, hey, I would like a shirt. And we will respond back. We'll let you know how much and shipping details and all that stuff depending on where you live. So
Hooking them up.
Yeah. Represent the swag. So mine doesn't have it, but we'll add like a QR code and you can just have people scan your back and get them to the This Is the Day Show. And if you're a single guy, maybe that's where that future wife's going to come from.
You'll find her just by scanning your shirt.
Yeah. You're a scan away. Yes.
So, bud, how was your week?
It was a pretty good week. Monday, work was slow. So we were helping out a prefab. Tuesday, I went and actually took the kids to the Capitol. And pretty good group. Got to see the governor, but we were too far away, so she didn't really meet the kids or anything, which my son was kind of bummed a little bit because he thought it was pretty cool to meet a governor. But
I'm going to miss her side note, but yeah.
And then we were supposed to meet with the legislators, but they were busy doing some work, so... And I said, wow, that's pretty interesting since an election year. So, but yeah, I mean, if they're working, I'm happy. And then Wednesday felt like a Monday because I'd go back to work and it was back at the tent and it just dragged. The week's kind of drug on. And now, like Wednesday and Thursday, like the crew thought we were like, yeah, we got time, like, kind of milk it out. And now I'm, like, running around without a head because it's like, dude, we got to get, like, this is coming up, this is coming up, this is coming up. And I literally have a crew that I have to divide. 2 guys here, 2 guys here, 2 guys here. The level of the knowledge and skill set isn't necessarily there with all of them that I need. So, and we have a kid in class next week. So, next week's going to be interesting.
So, you're just like, I'll do it myself.
Well, and I'm not supposed to. Like, I'm supposed to just make sure they have everything they need so they can do the task. And then I have to, like, that's one of the hardest things about what I'm doing now as foreman because I equip you. Give you what we're doing, lay you out, and then watch you struggle. I can help you and give you pointers
kind of like
and
a
stuff,
hands-on boss.
and I can kind of show you. But like I get in trouble if I do
the work.
Yeah, because I'm not supposed to tool up, which is very like working can be very therapeutic, and we'll get into that in a little bit. At least some of the things I bring to the floor, but. It's one of those things where you're like, man, like I see these guys struggling, or I will show you when you have to copy this because I cannot do more than that. So just frustration. And then the place is just getting crazy, dude. It's pretty nutso because people things that should have been thought out and laid out and planned properly are just now getting to where people are like, what are we gonna do about that? And it's like, what do you mean? What are we gonna do about well, I'm just gonna do my part on this. And they're like, well, how are we gonna do this for this person? And I'm like, I mean, I hate to be that guy, but that's a you problem, you know? So, yeah. But I felt like we had a lot of good time with the kids. Work is, I mean, getting our guys to be like, all right, guys, we're full steam and we're working and it's going to be good. And I don't want to work the weekends. Like, I told my general foreman, I said, dude, I'll work 10s, 12s, 14 even hour days just to avoid the weekend.
Yeah.
Just because
That's the worst, man.
Yeah. I mean, and there's guys that love it. And I'm like, dude, we'll get overtime throughout the week.
Right.
And I'm good with that. Like, I mean, I'm good with 40 personally, but, yeah, like I don't want to be there anymore and I have to, you know?
Especially like, yeah, it's one thing to work an extra long day for like 5 days a week, but then have to jump back into work for a 6th day or 7th day in a row. Like,
yeah.
And then it becomes 2 weeks and
yeah. I get, it's just like, because it's a tent, you're inside, there's no windows. So it's like, it's really depressing, dude.
It's like the warehouse.
Like, yeah, well, at least with the warehouse, you kind of had the dock doors open up a little bit, and you're like, man, it's actually pretty nice out there.
Except for if you're an order puller, then you just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crash into racks. But, no, yeah, it was a good week, though, all in all. No real big life-changing plans for the weekend, so that's... just hang out with the family. I did work on the bedroom. In the grand scheme of things, it felt very minimum, but that room only had one vent, like heat vent, air vent in it. So I cut in another one, and my brother does HVAC, and he kind of laid me out, like, I'm going to say November-ish, maybe even earlier, but I had to do some things to even get to, because I got drywall material in there and stuff, so like I had to move that stuff out to get to where I'm going to put the vent, or where I put it, and then cut it in. I used a jigsaw and then the Sawzall because I had subflooring, but I tried to, like, in my head I was like, I'm just going to do it layer by layer and it'll be nice, and just saws all day. But it I think it worked out pretty well for an electrician. So, but yeah. So just kind of trying to do at least one thing a week to check it off the box or off the list. But so that helped. But cool. How was your week, man?
Not bad. Worked. Nothing, like, nope, it wasn't a bad week. It was a good week work wise. Wife wasn't feeling so hot during the middle of the night, so had to call into work because she wasn't feeling good. So took care of the kids for half the day today, and then spent the day with all of them, and had a fun day today between all the discipline and all that fun stuff. But
it's always fun.
Yeah, it's different because, I mean, I'm here on weekends, but, you know, usually there's stuff going on. You're busy during the weekends too, but today was just kind of like being able to just sit and be at home with them.
Right.
So, different dynamic, but all in all, went good. Had nice weather. Was able to go for a run today in shorts and a t-shirt.
Dude, it was really nice, although the wind and rain got a little crazy.
Yes. So I was like, I'm going out this afternoon. I got to do something. So I was able to run 3 times this week. I was happy about that. And I'm just really trying to stick to this working out thing. I know as soon as I stop, it's going to stop. So I have to keep pushing. So, yeah. So I'm happy about that. Got a wonderful wife, wonderful kids. So that's how my week was.
It's always good. Always good.
Well, let's do it, man. Let's jump into the main topic.
The main topic.
And that is being the man she needs. So, we talked about the search for a good wife last week, but we didn't necessarily talk about us and our characteristics. Being that man that she's looking for. She's searching for a man. She's out there. She wants to find a husband. What do we need to be as men in order to be attractive, I guess, for a
Just
man?
need a six-pack, dude.
Or money, right?
Money, for sure.
So, and it's much easier for us to be able to, like, critique others and say, oh, her, like, she does this, she does that. But when it comes to us and looking at ourselves, like, how are we honestly doing with us and our characteristics? So I got a list together, threw it together, and just threw some notes down. We can go through them kind of like we did last week. And we're just going to go over characteristics. Kind of touched last week. I mean, if you want to throw it in, go for it. But, like, where are you going to find us? It's going to apply the same thing back and forth, right?
Yeah.
When? It's going to apply the same thing. So, characteristics for
nine
us.
to 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Business hours, banker hours. So, men, what do we need to do in order to be worth finding? So, number one, we need to be good communicators. We need to talk, not just grunt.
I also like to extend this out a little bit more. Is communication is not just me talking. It's also me listening and being an active listener. I know in our house with 5 kids, like, I really do try. And, like, even just
Chaos and
just today, dude, like, tried to listen to my wife, and she can tell I get frustrated because it's like, without fail, if we're talking, somebody who, like, literally just finished a conversation with me and ran away will come back and say something. And it's like, I want to be, and I do that with everybody. Like, if my son's talking to me and somebody else talks to me, like, as bad as this sounds, even if it's my wife, I'm like, hold on, my son is talking to me, and then my wife, just trying to, like, you matter to me, and what you're saying, I'm actively trying to listen to. But there's a lot going on, and, like, this is something we're working on. I know I'm working on very, very much in our home, because there's so many people, so many bodies, to where if you're having a conversation with me across the room, or you're having a conversation with me in a different room,
not gonna happen.
Totally not. It's not because I don't care, and I don't want that to come across that I don't care. But I'm like, if you want me to listen and you want to talk to me, you're gonna have to come to me. Like, I'll be doing dishes and the kids are talking to me, and I'm like, I literally cannot hear you between the water running, whatever's going on here, just babies crying. I mean, it's just, there's a lot going on.
Yes.
And, like, I don't know if you guys have hit this phase yet, but we'll be driving, and obviously my wife and I are in the front, and we have a van, so, like, the kids are in the back, and it'll be quiet. And the second, it seems like the second my wife and I are talking, like, we'll talk something serious, and it's just like, hey, Dad, it is just like, where was this at? But
no, we have the one that likes to talk a lot, so it's hard to get into conversation edgewise, and yeah.
So it is, communication is also listening. I think with communication, this is a hard one. Like, I put it on one of my resolutions to be a more efficient and a better communicator, because I have to think about what I truly am thinking or what I truly feel, and find a way to verbalize that. Because most of the time, the people I want to verbalize that to actually care. You know what I mean? So, trying to give them that. And I think, I don't know if men are just really struggle in the communication world, because it's not like, you just think men just button up and do. is kind of, but it's like kind of when you button up, you shut out.
I kind of think of too, like at work, like if I'm talking to somebody, it's kind of, there's a couple guys I'll talk to friendly for a bit. One even watched our show, so thank you, buddy. But when you're talking to another dude, it just seems like, hey, we're just getting to the point so we can get this situation done, take care of, and on to the next. Like, it's not like we're really exchanging pleasantries and how was your week and how was Susie May and all that stuff. I don't feel like we do that a whole lot.
You might have a little bit of small talk in there, but yeah most of the time it's just so, because I think about I think with communication is also knowing, is this a conversation that's just kind of in passing, or is this like you need my undivided attention?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like hyper mode where I'm like, everybody in my house at all times needs my undivided attention, and that's not always the case, but yeah.
And then you have those people you're trying to walk away from in the conversation, and they just keep reeling you back in. Yeah. Cues on both ends, people.
Yes.
Number 2, we need to desire to be with you and only you. So us men need to be desiring her. We need to be loyal. No games, no side chicks, no one else but her.
Don't play no games.
That's getting serious, you know.
It is. Because you're married. I mean, and if this is the steps before, then you need to be this to where she knows that you are committed.
Yeah.
The level of commitment needs to be there, but...
Yeah, because if you're always turning your head looking for the next best thing, texting somebody else, nobody's going to want to be serious with that.
No. Well, because you're not serious.
Yeah.
Like, what are you in there for?
Why be one-sided?
Yeah.
3, we need to be trustworthy. Yeah. I think this is something I'm thankful for my dad. You know, a man's word. One of the biggest things he taught me was, he told me, son, I don't have a lot of things in this life, but the one thing I do have is my word, and I'm going to keep it. So I've tried to also show that example. Whenever I make a promise or say I'm going to do something, just like him, do it and do it right away, because otherwise I don't want to forget. And then my good be evil spoken of, because I said I was going to do something, but really I didn't.
Right. Yeah, I think being trustworthy is also, when you get married, you want your wife to honor you, and being a trustworthy person is honorable. So it's like, I kind of looked at it through that lens of, you need to live an honorable life to where you can be honored by people. But yeah, I think my biggest thing with trustworthiness is like, I have a lot of good intentions, but I don't have more than 24 hours in a day. So I will want to do more than I am able to for people, because I naturally want to help people. That's I guess how I show people I care. But there's also things that I'm just not physically capable of doing, or the skill set's not there. And knowing my limitations, like that's if you're going to be trustworthy, you got to be honest with yourself, and be like, look, I can't do that, and I think that's a hard reality. So, but that's when I say I need to set up boundaries, like that's what I mean with me.
My family time's so important. My wife loves our like one-on-one time, our family time together. She also thinks it's super important because I work so much. So if I'm willing to do something for somebody, it's a special circle that I will go out and do anything for. But like beyond handful of people, nah.
Yeah.
Like, you can wait till I can get to it or find somebody else, I guess, is how I kind of look at it. Right or wrong, but that's just how it is.
I feel like when you have that family respect and dynamic that you just said, you're a little more mindful, conscientious of that. And for me, it means I'm going to do stuff that I probably should ask for help on by myself, and that's not that in the long run. I'm learning that is not effective, because that actually steals more time from my family,
right? Because
I'm dragging this process out longer than what it should be.
Yeah.
But all that to say, you need to be trustworthy.
Okay. 4, we need to be planners. We should not be we should be talking about a future with her. I'm not saying necessarily you need to write your life out in a planner or schedule everything out. You can be very effective and very efficient if you do that. But talk about some goals that you have, stuff that you're looking for in the future, like something you want to do with her in the future, how your life's going to be together, kids,
your dreams.
Yeah.
Obviously,
goals.
We talked about like number of kids we'd like to have, what state even we wanted to live in, just a lot of stuff. Yeah. But I feel like if you're planning, it's not just those big days, it's going to be the everyday little things. It means the world to my wife if I plan childcare and we go out on a date like that's just one less thing she doesn't have to worry about or do, or headache that she has to deal with. So I'm very bad at that. But it's one thing, like, you're making a future together. So
I told my wife when it came to dates, like, I told her, just plan them, schedule them in. You find the people to watch your children, because I'm not going to, the only person I can call is my mom. I don't know anybody else that I'd have to watch. Well, yeah, obviously you guys. Yeah.
Call us.
But while I'm driving the truck, like, I don't need to be planning all this stuff, right? And I'm getting to that point kind of in the truck. But so she's been really good at every month at least penning in something, a date, and then figuring stuff out. Last week kind of fell through with my dad in the surgery and stuff and last minute stuff. But then this month she's already got something scheduled. She's got a date scheduled. So I can see it up there on the calendar. And I know, and plan little stuff like that.
Dude, calendars are amazing.
Yeah,
they're good stuff.
Number 5, hopefully we can make her laugh. All right, I'm no comedian myself, so I'm not saying we just need to tell knock knock jokes or
dad jokes.
I mean, we can get away with those, but. We should be able to have fun together.
Yeah, I put a note here that, like, having good memories, enjoying each other, more than just making her laugh. As far as the comedian, like you're saying, when she thinks of you, it shouldn't be in a negative sense.
Fat jerk is walking in the room.
She should have good memories.
Hey, let's go to bed early so we don't have to see him. Yeah. No, you should not be like that towards your family.
Right.
We should share core values with our future wives, girlfriends, and sorry. This should also cover your beliefs. And I think this will go over political views as well.
Right.
Your worldview, so the world around you and how you see it, your worldview should be similar with one another.
Right.
I'm a Baptist, I'm a conservative, so I'm not going to go out there and try to find some liberal that's not going to church, not loving God, not reading her Bible. And she's a liberal, so she's not getting a chance anyway. So I'm not being unequally yoked.
Yeah, that, because you think about it, those core values are what you're instilling in. It's what you're living by, your daily life, and then it's what you're passing on to your children. And I mean, core values dictate might be a strong word, but they really do dictate like who you are and how you behave.
Right.
So it seems weird to me that I would desire to be married with somebody that doesn't line up.
Right.
I mean, obviously we're two different people, but like the big things we're pretty solid on. You know what I mean? Like, I just,
It doesn't have to. She doesn't have to be a yes man, but like at the same time, like why would I walk into my house and talk to somebody about beliefs, values, political views that's completely opposite of me? It's just going to be a fight every single day, and I'm not going to want to be home with that.
Right. And
especially if God is the center of my life, the one who gives me my core values, right? And then everything else flows downstream from that. You should really find a church. You should really find God. Just throwing that out there. But if I'm with somebody that doesn't have any of that, then it's really not going to work out that great, in my opinion.
I feel like maybe if you're a young man or even just a young person, a young woman, or single, maybe you don't consider yourself young, but maybe listing out your core values. Think about what you really value in life. That might be something to list out and know. I mean, it's just going to help you grow stronger. And then just kind of, these are things that I'm not going to compromise or change.
Yeah, you got your closed fists, you got your open-handed ones. And the closed fist values, that's just something you will not budge on no matter what. And you got your open hand ones.
Right.
So you're holding on to them, but...
I mean, with that being said, obviously the worldview, there's people that maybe she's more traveled and stuff can kind of open up your eyes a little bit more. If like all you've done is lived in a small town your whole life or something, that's that is not a bad thing. But I mean, if she's questioning your belief in God and why, I mean, asking questions why and stuff's not necessarily bad, but if she's constantly trying to debunk your faith or anything like that, that's a very toxic thing. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Let's jump to 7. We need to make her a priority and not put her on the back burner.
Likewise, we should not make her a god.
Yes.
So.
Yes, do not.
But yeah, she comes first because I've heard it said, and maybe you've heard this too, when you get married, the man that you were kind of dies. Like you're no longer single. Your primary focus in life is taking care of her. It's no longer me, it's us. You can always tell when somebody's been married because they're like, oh yeah, we'll be there. And you're like, who are you talking about? It's just you. But I mean, I used to make fun of those guys and now I am that guy. Like, well, we'll be there at this time. And it's like, I'm at work and it's just me. Yeah, we'll be in the tent in a second. And it's like, nobody's with me. It's just, I'm so...
You weirdo.
Yeah, weirdo. I had a dude at work on the phone. We were talking and he was like, all right, yep. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye, I love you. And I was like, what? Like, it's very awkward. So I was just like...
Somebody was doing that, I think, the other day at work. And he was like walking past me or something like that. And I was like, love you too, man. I was like, I didn't really want to joke with you about that. He's like, yeah, I love you. I'm like, okay, now you made it weird.
See, like, and there's the joking like that, but this was clearly like he was a married guy and like that's how he ended up obviously talking to his wife. But I've had that happen so many times at work to where I'm just like, I still don't know how to respond to that.
Comedy, man. Just throw the comedy out there.
Yeah.
Number 8, we need to work at resolving conflicts. We also need to forgive. You get married, trust me, two becomes one, but you guys aren't exactly the same person, so there's going to be disagreements. There could be arguments and fights. Me and my wife, we don't have yelling matches. I don't think we've ever raised our voices once. I've heard my dad say that about him and my mom, so I really wanted to make that something in my house. I don't want my house to be like that. There's somebody growing up that the wife would always yell at the house, and it drove me insane.
It just makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
So.
But anyway, so
yeah.
I never wanted that to happen. And the best best advice I can give you is, if you have an issue, you and your wife have a problem, an argument, whatever, settle it that night. You don't want to sleep on it and let it fluster or boil or get worse and worse and worse. Some things, I'm sure you won't be able to. There's just going to be some issues.
Right.
But
give it time.
Mainly, try to take care of things as soon as you can.
I think, that verse, let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
Yeah.
I know that if you, because then it, like we've done this once, and I apologize, love, if this is sharing too much, but one time my wife and I had a disagreement, an argument, a fight, whatever you want to call it. I don't even remember what it was over. I just remember we both went to bed mad, and then we woke up and it was extremely awkward, which is weird because this is my wife, and that was probably the most awkward moment we've had. And it's just like, it was weird. It was awkward because it was like, okay, how do we resolve this now? Because we've slept on it. Like, did you forget? Or have you moved on? Or are you thinking I moved on? And it was just like, we need to address that. But resolving the conflict, but then also, the forgiveness, that's obviously, we're human, we're making mistakes, and you're living with somebody else that you love and you don't want to hurt, but maybe the way you brush your teeth is just extremely annoying or something. I don't know. Or you just can't go to the bathroom and shut the door. Like, I don't know. I mean, just trying to think of like a little trivia thing, or I don't know, trivial, but I don't know.
We'll jump ahead from that one.
That is not an example in my house. So
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna go through any examples from my house. Let's jump on. We need to respect her. Kind of like when we talked about us being trustworthy, we need to pay it back.
I feel like it's very hard to love someone you don't respect. And it's even more hard. It's harder to honor them. And we're supposed to honor our wives.
I think I've heard about a psychologist that will talk to married couples and stuff, and they're having issues and problems or whatever. Usually, the problem can get fixed unless if it gets to a certain point. And I believe that point that they said is if one is bitter towards the other, then that's usually a sign it's not coming back. Bitter or not envious.
Like resentful?
Maybe that's the word. That might be it. It's either bitter or resentful. And usually they're not coming back from that. So respect her. That also kind of goes back to being loyal and desiring to be with her. But anyways.
Being that honorable person.
Yes. We need to be mature and leave childish things behind. Not only physical stuff or, I don't know, video games or hanging out with the boys, partying all the time or stuff like that. But
acting like you're single.
This covers emotional maturity as well, too. Kind of stuff we talked about. Being able to have conversations, being able to have conflicts, resolving them, not being a baby about stuff all the time. Being a man.
And emotional maturity is you're not throwing a fit, and when you don't get your way, I'm the man, listen to me, I think
I'm the leader of this household.
Yeah. But
I wear the pants.
Listen, woman. But the interesting thing to me, and I've talked to my wife extensively about this, and it really came when we had my son, where the stereotype or the man mindset or the pressure you get as a man is you don't have emotions, right?
Yep.
And the funny thing about that is if a man says his emotions are in check, he's got control. I'm not an emotional man. To me, those seem to be the most men that struggle with anger and isolation. When they get mad, they get angry, and they have no problem showing anger, and they don't equate that with an emotion.
Right.
That's macho, Well, I'm just mad because this happens, and I can justify my anger. without realizing, no, I am not emotionally stable right now. I'm off the rails. I'm angry.
And usually you're angered because there's another emotion that's kicking in. Usually, like, you're hurt, so then you're lashing out.
So you
you're
mask
angry.
it.
Yes.
And to have emotional maturity is to identify what emotion that really is. Like, I'm not feeling angry right now. I'm lashing out in anger, and what it is I'm really like hurt. You that cut deep, you know.
Right.
And it's like, you know, and then I've told people this. I said it's very interesting to watch people who will have a circle of friends and they'll I'm a loner. Well, I'm just a loner. I'm a lonely dude, you know. And it's like, what happens is they will be in the circle of friends and group, and then they will literally isolate themselves, and they'll be like, everybody left me. And it's like, dude, you're the one that quit hanging out with people. You're the one that stopped doing this. I reached out to you. I tried to get you involved in all this stuff, and you are the one that backed out. Mm-hmm. And it's like, they're just being immature. And it's like, no, dude, like, kind of check yourself. You know, maturity is with emotions. And I tell people, because this is how this all started, was like, my wife, we were talking about emotional people and all that stuff, whatever you want to call it. But I said, people act like men cannot have emotions, and it's like God created us, and part of being human is to have emotions,
right?
You know, and it's with that, put your emotions in check, you know. Be a human. And obviously this person that you're talking to, you either have her as your wife or you want her as your wife, so she's gonna see, you know. And I don't know, you're not Superman, you know what I mean? Like, yes, you need to keep it together and be a man as far as lead and stuff, but you're still human at the end of the day. Like if my dad died and I didn't cry, like, or you know, get like that hurt. I'm losing somebody that I deeply care about, mm-hmm. and that doesn't tear me up. Then either I didn't have a good relationship with my dad, or something might be wrong with me. You know, like, maybe that's tearing him up a lot more than what he's letting on, you know? So, I don't know. I also think about, with communication, if a lot's going on in my head with my emotions, or I'm stressed out or whatever, I've discovered this with myself because of work. I can't tool up all the time, so I can't work with my tools. But like, that's therapeutic. So you'll see men almost escape into their work, and then it's like, she didn't marry that job. She married you for you. Mm-hmm. And kind of how I voiced about wanting to help my guys when they're overloaded with work, like, she's wanting to help you. Like, that's something in her, mm-hmm. where she wants to help you go through life, you know? Yeah. So
supporting her teammate.
That was a long spiel, man.
Well, and
sorry.
Like, hopefully I remember what I was going to say here, but there's a lot of popular podcasts, and I call them these macho men podcasts, that are popping up now. And even one was talking about how some of it was good, but all in all, I wouldn't buy it all. But one of the areas he was saying was keeping your emotions in check when you're around your woman or your wife. Not showing your emotion around her at all. If you have something that you need to take care of or cry out or whatever, you need to go do it somewhere else and then come back. And I'm just like, realistically, man, like, I don't think I should be a baby around her all the time.
Right.
But I think there are times. There are times where just stuff spills over, and having that emotional maturity, being okay and being safe, knowing that I can do this in front of my wife or whatever, you know. I don't think you have to put on a special facade and not be you.
Right. And I think about that obviously with my son, and like, I don't know if I shared it on the podcast or not, but like, I was like, look, I had to train this guy.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need to show him I care.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, because you're out in the world and you're going to be fighting battles all the time and people don't care about you. Yeah. Because that's helping me a little bit with me in relationship with my son. I'm really trying to. There's a line, right? There's definitely a line. But yeah, the world's just going to eat you up.
Yeah.
So you need to know that I love you and you can be safe at home.
Well,
you're protected at home.
And I think, obviously, he's little.
Right.
And my son's little. So it's going to be more. Because there's this instinct where I'm like, dude, I can't, I got to harden you up a little bit. And that sounds so bad. But it's like, dude, you can't be soft like that. But then it's like, he's still little. He doesn't need, if you're out a kid
doesn't
playing
boot camp at
yeah,
2.
like you don't need to get all armored up when you're a kid, you know? Like, I don't, yeah.
There's definitely a line. Let's jump to, we need to show some compassion. Which I think that can kind of be a difficult one, along with talking. Showing our emotions, but being compassionate. Some people have it as a trait better than others do.
Right. I was thinking it's easier for me to show my wife compassion, which is funny because she's another adult, than sometimes my children. That makes me sound like a horrible parent. It really does. But I mean, like my patience sometimes is less with my children. Maybe that's just the quality or sheer quantity of them.
Well, and I mean, maybe you want to do something for your kid, but then your kid, kid acts ungrateful right in front of you, or yeah, there's just been times where something just happens and I'm just like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just because of that, nope. I'm going to nitpick and nope. But no, I get that. I totally get that. We need self-control. And this will cover a lot. Whether it's eating, whether it's spending, not looking for other women. Self-control. I mean, I even almost wanted to say self-control like, and maybe I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on this, but like self-control, don't let yourself go. And I'll leave it at that. That's just the best way to do it. As men, we love our wives, and one of the main things, I'm not going to say the only thing, but one of the things that we liked about her is how pretty she is. That drove us. And as we age, yes, some of that stuff is going to go away, but at the same time, we should be doing a little bit of something to try to keep that desire in the eyes back on us, right?
Dang, dude. Sorry, man.
No, I'm not trying to call anybody out or say, hey, 500-pound fat man. Like, there are things that we can do.
She weighed $150 when she married you. No.
He used to be, what was it? Used to be a puma. Now you're Pumbaa.
Yes.
So, she needs to be our best friend.
I think that
is key.
Yeah. She's going to be the one in the trenches with you. And then, yeah.
Even last week when I said the relationship with my wife was different from all the rest because I actually built a friendship with my wife beforehand and a solid one. So now that we're married, it literally is marrying your best friend.
Yeah. My wife and I, we have date nights, and it's funny because we'll have activity A, like, oh, we're going to read together or we're going to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And we'll spend so much time just sitting there talking. And, like, we've even done it where we talked and we're like, we have to stop talking to each other because we have to go get stuff done.
I felt terrible.
Like, what?
I'm the bad guy. One thing I need to work on is talking.
Well, we just talk about anything and everything. Like, we talk politics, we talk religion, we talk faith, we talk our kids, our future. I mean, all this stuff that, like, we're building it together, our dreams, our hopes, and obviously, I mean, family dynamics as far as, like, hey, how's your brother? How's your sister's nephew's roommate? You know, whatever, you know. Just kind of who we talk to.
I sometimes will just be we'll be in bed, and then like we'll be watching the show, or we'll be doing whatever. And like I'm getting into the show, and then it's getting close to that lights out time, like getting knocked out, and then we'll want to have conversations, and I'm just like, I really want to sleep. I'm not gonna lie, I love you, but I want to sleep. So that's one thing I can definitely work on is communication and talking.
Ours is a little different because my work schedule definitely allows for it a little more, but we'll put our kids to bed, and then it's kind of like we'll clean up the house, and we just, especially if I worked a longer day, obviously we want time, and it's time to where we can just have a conversation that's not I need this from you, and it's just kind of like, hey, did you see this, or
yeah.
So it's good.
That's what I enjoyed about today, was being off of work. Like, me and her were able to just, instead of me rush, get home, help her put the kids down, and then try to eat, and then try to wind down a little bit. Like, I've been going, half the time I'm not even taking lunch breaks at work. So I'm taking 10 or 11 hour days without lunch break. I'm just going.
Mm-hmm.
But you drive in a semi, not the same thing. You drive over to Chicago or whatever and just do it 2 times. Go there and back, and you tell me if you wanted a break or not. But anyways, so just go. And then it's just like after I eat, then it's kind of like my time to like, I need to unwind.
Yep.
I feel like it's been a lot and I need to unwind. And I'm not always the best. I'm grumpy at times, and I'm not the best at just being able to be open and have a conversation. And it's just like, I need to decompress a bit.
Right. And being able to communicate that.
And she's good.
Yeah.
So we need patience. And this is not only going to apply for your patience towards her, but guess what? More likely one day you're going to have kids, and you're going to need to be patient.
Yes.
They will test you in ways you didn't even know.
And I'll sidebar this, or side note, like if she's been with the kids all day, or even the majority of the time, her patience is going to be really thin. Mm-hmm. So you got to step in and kind of give her that break. That was one thing that my wife and I don't even know if we talked about it, but like she could tell when my patience like was like, oh, I'm going low, and then she would step in, and then like it would be enough to where I was like, all right, I can pull through.
I can give you a little bit more now.
I got this, and then we tag team our kids, man. We're just got you. You go take a water break. I got this. Yeah. So, but children will test you. They will try you. She's got her day too. Like she's going to need to decompress, and maybe you had plans that you were going to surprise her with. Let's say she had a really, really bad day at work, and you were like, hey, I had dinner reservations. We need to go. Like, be patient. Give her some time, Yep.
We need to be appreciative.
It's a hard word to say. I just say thank you.
Yes. You really do.
Yes. There's a lot to be appreciative of.
And I mean, just your family dynamic, however that's going to work, just she's going to do a lot. And I think eventually most men realize what their wives will do. But just even the one thing that just blows my mind is just the mere miracle of our wives having children. Just doing that and giving their bodies up for that. And it's just, we don't even have to do anything.
Yeah. It's
just support them for the next 18 years plus.
Just it takes,
it's crazy, man.
A thank you and flowers will go a very long way. And if you're financially strapped, at least drop a thank you. Just give her a big hug and say, hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you've done. You've done an amazing job.
Asking if you can do the dishes for her, if you can help her out after the end of the day.
Yeah. Like, hey, would you like a cup of coffee? Would you like some tea? Why don't you go sit in there and read a book? I'll clean up after dinner. I'll put the kids to bed, whatever. Even tonight, I gave the 3 little ones, I gave them baths tonight, and hey, we got this. It's all good. So I mean, just she's carrying a load, and you gotta, recognize that is a huge thing.
Your part,
and then say thank you, and then try to help with it. But
yeah, today, like I said, took care of the kids till Nancy woke up, and she's feeling a little bit better. And then this afternoon we did some stuff together. But then I think it was maybe 4-ish. She's like, go play games. And I'm like, well, I haven't in probably 3 weeks to a month. Sure, I'll just jam out. So I jammed out for quite a while and had a fun time. And gotta take it when you can get it, right? We need to take care of ourselves. So this was, I kind of jumped the gun on that.
Yeah.
Health, appearance, our mental health. There's just, I think health and realizing what you can do for your health, because you're going to want to be there for her and for your children as long as possible. I'm already at a deficit with my wife because of our age, and I know that men always die younger than what ladies do. Yes. So it's just like
stereotype, or typically,
yes. So do what you can. I mean, obviously God's in control. He has the wheel, so I'm not gonna be able to change anything, but I can definitely help and not hinder.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, there's a difference.
I could drive right into a light post, tomorrow and end it right there, or I cannot drive into a light post and still be here tomorrow.
Yeah, make those healthy choices. Yes.
The last one I have is we need to be a leader and a problem solver. We are called to lead our family. We are called to lead. Our families will follow what we do. Go into a ditch, guess where your family's going to go? You need to lead your families. They're going to follow your direction.
Right. And I said with this, don't be afraid necessarily to go into the ditch, because we're all going to fail, right? Even the Bible talks about a righteous man falls 7 times and gets up, or 6 times and gets up, right? Yeah.
Just the story, he falls and he gets up again.
Yeah. Yes. The number's either 6 or 7, I can't remember. But your family will lead you. So don't allow that fear to just paralyze and stop you. Like I don't know where I'm going. I don't know if I'm going to crash into this ditch or not. Like, that doesn't excuse you. Like, you need to get out there. You need to lead your family in the direction that you believe God is wanting you to go as a family. And here's the crazy thing: if you lead your family into a ditch, you can lead them right back out.
Yep.
And
your family will be right there to help you get
exactly. Out. And here's the thing: your family will still follow you despite how many ditches you lead them into. Now, if you're making the same, if
it's a ditch every day, though,
if you're running into the same ditch, like you go in it, go back, do a U-turn, and go back in it, and then constantly just run this circle, yeah, they're gonna eventually say, "This is a crazy train," and I didn't sign up for that.
Or just bail as soon as they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one that we didn't have on our list is we need to be a provider and a protector.
Yes. My bad.
No, man. It's all good.
That is very important.
That is very key.
That's like pretty much underneath being a leader for your household.
Yes. That's just why,
putting away childish things, going and getting a job.
Don't throw your wife in front of the door if somebody breaks in.
Don't be like Iran and have your wives in front of you while you try to shoot others.
Oh, man. But you're supposed to provide. I mean, there's been times, I'm not tooting my own horn. I know you do multiple sources of income. I've had 2 full-time jobs. I've worked multiple jobs at a time. You got to do what you got to do, man. That's part of putting her first and not. It's just being mature. You got to set aside those childish things and
leading. If you guys had the goals that you wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom or maybe other things, I don't think if your wife's already working and you're working, I don't think she should have to be the one to take a second job.
Right. So, yeah.
Nice, man. I
Good
liked
list.
it.
Good list.
Be men. All right. Let's hop into the wild card, shall we?
And welcome to this week's segment of the Wild Card.
Our listener asked, in the wake of the latest war in Iran, right or wrong, justified without proper cause or clearance, excuse me. And they said, my cousin is a U.S. citizen in Qatar.
I've heard it pronounced
Qatar.
like two different ways.
Qatar?
Yeah.
I don't.
Qatar and Qatar. I've heard it that way, and I don't know. So either one.
Qatar.
So I am sorry your cousin is over in Qatar or Qatar, but hopefully everything will be okay and there won't be any issues. Hopefully God will look over him and take care of him.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research last night, and I don't think we need to go through all this, but I have all this. I have a little bit up there, and then there's all my links. So instead of me going through all of this, I'm going to throw a bunch of links on there. So if you guys want to check me out, go for it. But I'm going to read a couple of things, and then I'm going to go into my opinion. We cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. So, during my research, there is no single verified total due to the regime's lack of transparency, underreporting, and varying estimates from human rights organizations. However, based on documented reports, so reports they're giving, if you can trust them, the figure exceeds 20,000 and could be as high as 50,000 or more when including the most recent massacres. This is talking about Ayatollah Khomeini killing his own people. So from 1989 to 2010, and this doesn't even cover when he was president and not Ayatollah. So he was in leadership, pretty high leadership, and then he became Ayatollah in 1989. But anyways, 1989 to 2010, around 7,000 to 8,000 documented executions, including spikes in the early 1990s for political opponents. From 2011 to 24, at least 6,000 through 7,000, with annual figures rising from about 360 in 2011 to 901 in 2024. 2025, at least 2,200 executions, the highest annual total in decades amid escalating repression. And with what happened in 2025 with their regime, or maybe it was earlier this year or was it last year? No, it was earlier this year. Earlier this year, in having the protests.
Yeah, early this year.
And I have heard the totals of his population that he killed could be as high as 32 to 35,000 just this year. Just for, they wanted regime change. They didn't want him in there anymore, and if you could just look at his people, you could see why. So, we'll just go on to my opinion now. I presented all of this to say that I believe it was right and that it was also justified. Iran, under this leadership, constantly chanted death to America and death to Israel. Ayatollah Khomeini killed and tortured his own people. The IAEA estimates that Iran had 440.9 kilograms of uranium enriched to up to 60%. Before last year's Israeli-U.S. attacks, enough, if enriched further, for 10 nuclear weapons, according to an IAEA yardstick. And this is just what they were finding.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I don't know if this was them reporting it or them documenting it. I've heard that 60% number being thrown out there a lot, and they say usually when somebody enriches it up to 20%, they always end up making a nuclear weapon.
Right.
So they're at 60%. So I personally don't trust them with the nuclear weapon.
Nope.
I wouldn't even trust them with my 2005 Toyota Camry. I don't. I believe if there was a window like we had to cripple their leadership, I wouldn't have taken a second guess at it like our president did. Also, the Congress and Senate had votes to end this, and they were unsuccessful. If they wanted it stopped, they could have. And that's just my view on the whole situation.
And I don't think technically we're in war. It's not a declared state of war, because then he would have to have Congress's approval, and it would be have to vote.
Correct.
We've just done attacks and
Strikes.
Again, tomato, but I almost feel like to have a war, you have to have somebody fight back, and bombing your surrounding countries isn't really striking back. That's
sending
just
a drone here or there. Yeah,
that's just showing that you're rooting for chaos. I guess you're just being crazy. I don't know if there's a better word for it, but I think just looking at this leadership and the fact that the people of Iran did not want him in leadership, because I know the argument is like, should we go and police the world? Should we interfere with other countries? And it's like we're kind of liberating countries, yes. And I know Vietnam gets brought up a lot historically and stuff, and it's like there's something to be said about not going where you're not welcomed, or and it's like that. I don't believe that's the case in this situation. And I think the way we made I think it was back with Obama, we made a nuclear agreement with them, and turn over the nukes and all that stuff, and
they'll give you cash for it.
Exactly. So you can make other ones.
Maybe we'll check on them, who knows.
But it's and I think because we had a presence in the Middle East, it might have been taken a little more serious than when we pulled out of everywhere. But I think it's important. I feel like the presence of America helps stabilize countries and parts of the world. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I get it. Our troops, they're Americans. But I mean, freedom for other countries is important too. I don't think we should just be free. Like, I think for us not to help other countries get freedom, and I think if we were to carry that mindset, then we would drastically need to change our immigration policies. I mean, I feel like we already need to, but drastically. I mean, it needs to change tomorrow, to where people can come. We can be like a beacon of light or whatever, but it's allowing that freedom to be in other parts of the world is, I think that's an important thing. It builds allies, it builds stability in our world. So I think these attacks and stuff, and obviously, them hitting a Navy base, that just proves that I think green light. Obviously, Congress didn't vote to unstop it or to stop it. So,
how ridiculous would that be to have us go into this thing and then just to say, hey, we want to stop it now, and go back.
And I mean, if depends on what you're saying our objective is. If it's to take him out, then mission accomplished. Let's go home.
Right.
But I feel like part of the problem is if you just take out the leadership, then it can create a vacuum of power, which can lead to worse. So I'm not for rebuilding a country. I do like that Trump said, take back your country, to the people of Iran. So that to me, I think we will aid you in taking back your country, but it's you.
Because I think their biggest thing was allowing the Iranian people to make the change in the government. That was a priority. Take control of the air, which they have. Take care of their naval and also the nuclear.
Yes.
I believe that's all that they wanted to do.
Well,
and they've talked about it being, this is where I will personally have an issue. If this turns into an Afghanistan type of war, call me out, because I wasn't a fan of how all that turned out. 20-year war and all that stuff. I think if this could have probably been, this strike could have been what Afghanistan should have been, in my opinion. Something more similar to this rather than what it was. And trying to build, I think the problem that they lose with different cultures aren't America. They're their own culture.
Right.
So we're trying to put our democracy, our representative republic in there, and that's not going to work out with different people.
Right.
They live nothing like us over there. So then having the people rise up, having the people do their civic duty, doing what they're supposed to, taking over, filling in the roles that they're supposed to fill in, make them do the work.
Right. And I guess if we aid in that, I mean, obviously, here's a computer, research what we did, I guess. I don't know. Like, look at our documents and stuff. But, I mean, what do you guys want as a people? And obviously, it's going to be split a little bit. But being able to, I think most people want to be able to have a say, have a vote, be able to change things if it's not what the majority or the people want, Being
your political opponent, not being killed for it.
Right.
Not being covered head to toe just because the Ayatollah says so.
Well, and to not, have oppressing laws upon you, not be working your whole life to have nothing to show for it.
When I was doing research, and hopefully I'm not off on this, but they weren't called Ayatollahs yet with the previous leader. Mm-hmm. It changed when Ali Khamenei, I believe is his name, came in. They had to go through special hoops and stuff to make him the Ayatollah because he's the supreme leader. It's almost like the Pope is what he is, but he's also the leader for Iran. And they had to make a special thing just for him to do that.
Which I don't think historically that has ever worked out.
With kingdoms?
No. But I think, because you hear stories about, like, you'll see pictures of the Middle East, like, back in early 70s and stuff, and it's like, that's not the Middle East. And it's like, that's how it was.
I saw videos for the first time, like Persia and stuff, and I'm like, really?
It's crazy. It's wild. But it's like, then you get one Yahoo that thinks that he can just oppress people and looks at them more as a means to make his life better. And I don't.
And then everybody just goes along with it. Nobody fights back.
But you can't fight back because if you do, you're gonna die. Obviously, 30-some million people at minimum.
Military, he can't do it himself. The military had to do it for him. So, if the military would have said no, then he wouldn't have been able to do much.
Right. And then they got in there and changed a lot of stuff because they chanting "Death to America." Stuff like that, and it's, I don't know. And I think obviously the Middle East is a very big place of conflict, but Trump has had really good success working with those countries, kind of working some deals with countries like Saudi Arabia is on our side in this whole thing. Like, that's pretty wild. Like, we can fly over their country.
Doesn't help if you shoot a cruise missile or something at them randomly.
Hey, minor detail. So, but I think the thing that I can respect through this is typically if Trump says something, and hopefully people don't take this the wrong way. Like, if America says, "Hey, you better not do that," like we mean that. Like,
that's the line.
I think there's, yes, and it's like I've seen funny things of clips and stuff. This guy's in the military and he's just like, Like he does like Iran says something, like he's got the little Iran flag, and he's like, "We're going to sink all of your boats, America." And then like Japanese shows the jet, don't touch their boats, man. Just don't touch their boats. They're really weird about their boats. And then it shows America, what'd you say about my boats? And just kind of throwing some humor on it, but it was just like having a president that is going to back up what he says. Yeah. I think, I'm expecting myself as a man to be these things. So to see a president be these things where he is, I said it, I'm going to do it. Obviously I don't feel like Trump's first reaction is war.
No, he's proven that time and time again not to really step into anything at all.
So, and I think the reason why we had troops staying in the Middle East his first term was I think he knew the potential of what did happen, could have happened. And I think it was a smart thing to kind of keep our stuff there, because I feel like the way that all ended was kind of a slap in the face, is how I feel.
Just dropping everything and go?
Leaving stuff, leaving people.
And people?
Yeah, that's
not the way to do it.
But
I did one important thing before we go. When we were talking about them enriching their uranium, all right, to 60%, that wasn't the only thing that they were worried about, is just making a nuclear weapon, all right? But them producing all the missiles, all the drones, their estimate would have been, I'm going to put a timetable on it, so forgive me if I'm wrong. I thought it was a year to about a year and a half. Their infrastructure that was going to be around this was going to make them untouchable. So from like a win-loss column for us would have been us trying to take this out. How much were we going to lose at that point just trying to get to that?
Right.
So that's the infrastructure that they were building up as well, and it was going to fortify them. I think they also make equivalents to, is it North Korea? Is it Kim Jong-un? I think he's in North Korea.
Yeah, he was the North Korean.
So them, like, that's why they're untouchable too, because they have the infrastructure around them protecting them from stuff that's gonna try to take it out. So
yeah, I think typically if you're teaching small children, you would point to this guy and say, yeah, that's one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
He does bad things, and that would make him a bad guy. So I don't think the lens of the average person living in Iran was stoked about their leadership and living a very happy day-to-day life. I don't think that's the picture that was the truth over there. So
you can hear many people are happy about what's going on over there. So I mean, even our own local radio had a woman on. Her family sent her over here to do some schooling, and she was just overjoyed and very happy because she thought, we're going to keep dragging this out, but she thought since she came over here, her and her family already pretty much had an agreement. She was never going to be able to go back home.
Right.
Under this man's leadership, so she was probably never going to be able to go home. And since this happened, this is giving the people an opportunity to take their government back. So she's possibly being able to look at being able to go home and see her family again.
Right. I don't know. To use terms that are modern, I guess, is this guy was a bully. And if you see a bully beating up a little kid and you don't step in, I mean, that's terrible.
How many administrations, and everybody knew what was going on, and everybody just let it happen, and they even gave him money for it too.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
helping him build more,
Honestly, and then if he built nukes to just nuke us anyways, just because he doesn't like us in Israel, like, I don't know, man. Doesn't make any sense to me. I won't lose a wink of sleep at all.
No, I think the important thing now is what we do moving forward.
Yes.
Because I think it would be a great benefit both ways if that became a strong alliance.
It would be very nice. Have more Middle East presence for sure.
That would be very.
And not overstaying our welcome. So.
Yes, they are American troops that should be in America. So,
got anything else?
No, man.
We good?
You want a shirt? Send us an email. Yeah.
Sweet. You can probably DM us too if you want. But, well, this is the Day Show. Don't forget to stand.
Thank you.